Where is one place you will never go to? The moon. Yeah, after it got stolen on June 9, 2010, it's no longer an eligible vacation spot. Which of the world's villain is responsible for this heinous crime? And where will he strike next? Ah yes, the only place not touched by capitalism. Space. Edit, since nobody got it except one guy. It's from a movie, extremely funny scene. Mount Everest. I understand why some people want to, but even if I had eternal life, I can't imagine wanting to spend any of it climbing a freezing cold mountain just to say I'd been to the highest point on Earth. I would like to see the Himalayas, but I don't want to summit any of them. The 10-day round-trip hike to base camp is extraordinary and partially warm. That's all you need really. I want a mountain climb just to hang out at base camp. You grow a beard, you drink hot chocolate. Hey, you going to the top? Soon. Mitch Hedberg. Somalia. For a fun read, check out the wiki travel page on Mogadishu. It's a hoot. The U.S. travel advisory for Somalia is one of the more amusing ones, including things like, have a designated contact for hostage negotiations and notify next of kin of your travel plans if a body needs to be sent. The one that really got me was make a will. Dubai, it just doesn't appeal to me at all. Same. If I want to visit a super futuristic city, I would choose Hong Kong, Singapore, or Seoul. Dubai was built on slavery. There's a certain sort of person that holidays in Dubai. Not saying they're wrong to do so, and I hope they enjoy it. Most people I know who go seem to enjoy it. But, it is always a certain sort. Of the people I've known to go to Dubai, a very talented, crypto-obsessed tattoo artist, a rise and grind gym bro, and a colleague whose life is almost entirely subsidized by his wealthy parents. Not sure what all these guys have in common, but I still agree with your statement. Burkina Faso. Not because I have anything against the place, it just seems like a really unlikely location for me to end up. It's fun to say, though. I had to do a report on Burkina Faso in school. All I remember is they pretty much deforested their whole country because you could get a little money from selling the trees/lumber. I had a friend in the Peace Corps who went there and immediately contracted a deadly parasite and had to be sent back before she died, and it was a close one. Dang, that sounds gnarly. Back to my old high school. Fuck that place. I am 64, my grade school, middle school and high school have all been torn down. May you outlive yours also. Oh man, that really does sound like the dream. I'm 36 soon and still have weird dreams every year or so about having to re-enroll in my old high school. Always leaves me with a horrible feeling. Not about getting bullied or anything, just having no autonomy again. The Beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond, sadly, no matter how hard I try. Click, 2006. They're closing all their stores, so if you want to try again, now's the time. Damn. They're going into the Beyond. North Sentinel Island. You can go there, you just can't leave. Like Hotel California? This is probably the place I want to go to the most in the world, but like, as a ghost, no danger and no chance of me interfering with anything. I just want to know what's up. That dark place beyond everything the light touches. Aw, come on, it's just an elephant graveyard. Don't be a chicken. The watering hole? Somalia. These are some highlights from the official U.S. State Department travel page for the country, where they say what to do if you do travel there. Greater than draft a will and designate appropriate insurance beneficiaries and/or power of attorney. Greater than discuss a plan with loved ones regarding care/custody of children, pets, property, belongings, non-liquid assets, collections, artwork, etc., funeral wishes, etc. Greater than establish a proof of life protocol with your loved ones, so that if you are taken hostage, your loved ones can know specific questions and answers, to ask the hostage takers to be sure that you are alive, and to rule out a hoax. Greater than leave DNA samples with your medical provider in case it is necessary for your family to access them. So in all, quite a pleasant place to visit for a beach vacation. If you want to experience the Horn of Africa, just visit right up the beach in Djibouti. Same weather and landscape, but less pirates and ransom. Plus, they had a Hard Rock Cafe when I was there. Djibouti's economy is pretty much based on being a relatively legit place in between two of the most fucked up places on the planet. Seriously, Eritrea is worse than Somalia. They're like Africa's North Korea. And Djibouti must have the highest density of military bases of any country. Everyone operates out of there. Diving into an underwater cave. If people want to die drowning in the dark, more power to them. Some things are best left unexplored. Underrated comment. I'm sure it's fun to some, but the danger far outweighs the fun to me. I mean, for me the bigger issue is all the training I'd need to do it safely. Most deaths in caves are from people untrained to cave dive. It's completely different to normal diving. It's so expensive and takes so long to get cave certified, it's just not worth the hassle for me. So cave diving dead is the one place you won't go? I like Antarctica. I'd like to go, but it's highly unlikely I ever will. I've actually gone for a study abroad program this past December. While we didn't go farther than the Antarctic Peninsula, we did get to go on land quite a bit, plus the polar plunge. It was very cold indeed. It was almost like a spiritual journey. Ever since coming back I don't feel the same. There's something about seeing a part of the world so remote and untouched that is just humbling to the ego. This guy saw an alien shapeshifter take out his study program. I do plan on visiting every continent in my lifetime. I've only got a few more to go. Antarctica will be the last one I visit. Myanmar. Spent my pre-adolescence there during the previous rule of the junta, when Suu Kyi was in house arrest. I cannot begin to explain the fear that was present in everyday life there then. My father had to be at Yangon for some pretty run-of-the-mill corporate work and was nonetheless always on alert. As a 10/11/12-year-old, I was not allowed to answer telephones, lest I reveal something that might seem problematic to the administration. Even in an atmosphere that you were on the brink of rubbing law enforcement the wrong way, my most memorable moments were brushes with the younger adult neighbors in our apartment who were running an illegal computer training center. I cannot imagine their lives now, suspended in constant agitation. My partner's mother is Burmese and she still has family there. We would love to go there and visit, but unfortunately there is no way that's gonna happen anytime soon. Me, well, that was a long time ago. Maybe things are better now. Reads up on Myanmar's recent history. Nope. Exactly the same, down to the military rule and Suu Kyi being arrested. Literally the exact same thing happened again in 2021. The war never stopped in Myanmar basically. It's the longest ongoing civil war. Started at the end of World War II and never stopped to this day. Hundreds of thousands killed, over 1 million displaced, yet most people are completely unaware. India and Pakistan. I'm a woman. Yes, any place where I would feel unsafe traveling alone is off the table. Even if I am not alone, I am usually pretty fearless, most of the time. It's gotta be my gut, I suppose. Might as well add Egypt and most of the Middle East to your list then. Egypt is apparently awful for street safety. Awful if you're an Egyptian woman, awful if you're a foreign woman. Just don't go out as a woman, apparently. DPRK, North Korea. Actually have been to North Korea once technically. Got to go into the building that is built on the border and got to technically cross the border in the building, into the North Korean side. Of course there was a guard at the door that lead into he country proper, but I crossed the border so I count it lol. Hey, I've done the same. That whole area was wild. The NK guards were standing at the top of the stairs and allegedly there was another guard behind the dark glass with a rifle to make sure no one defected to the south. Crazy to think about, or maybe our escort was just messing with us. Either way, that place is surreal. Seeing the line of bricks and walking over into the north for a few minutes was more unsettling than I was expecting. Uranus. Astronomers will end up renaming it in 2620 to end that joke once and for all. Have another drink. Can't confirm. Missing out. 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Sadly, Disney should get a street named over there and open up a fake dentist shop. Fake dentist, covering for a cool candy shop in the location. Gary, Indiana. From what I've read on Reddit, I've lived in the town next to Gary for over 40 years, and honestly it isn't that bad anymore comparatively. It's nearly a ghost town now. In the 90s, when I was a teenager, it was rough. Seemed like a horror story popped up every day. One was my future brother-in-law's girlfriend dead in a trunk. In the 2000s I went to IU Northwest and there were at least 3 attempted/actual rapes every semester, where girls were dragged off campus. Now though, if you don't go looking for drugs or trouble, you're pretty good. We even stop at red lights at night now. The gray skies really match the brown deteriorated buildings. If you're lucky, you might even get to meet a meth head. To be fair, you can meet a meth head anywhere. Constantinople. I had a date there once, but she was waiting in Istanbul. Why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks. Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. It's just a model anyway. Quiet. King Arthur came a lot, didn't he? Egypt. Was expecting to see this much higher up. Same here, I keep seeing it at the top of threads regarding the worst places people have ever been to. I've always wanted to visit Egypt, but unfortunately it's just not safe for us there. Hopefully it gets better before we're too old to go. India. Been there once. Now I tell people who haven't been or want to go, it's like meth, not even once. I loved India, but I did live the luxury lifestyle there. It's the best and worst place I've been. I'd recommend it for the history and amazing old architecture, and the people are lovely. I would not recommend it for backpacking or a stress-free time. My friend's sister married an Indian guy and moved to India. The family she married into is quite well off. They had people trimming the grass next to the driveway with hedge shears. They live in a beautiful gated compound with greenery and an absolutely stunning mansion. And they are surrounded by the worst slums you've ever seen, right outside the gate. Friend's sister isn't allowed to leave the compound alone, and good lord, why would you want to? Their kid, 3, has only left the compound once, to visit the States. It's really, really sad and depressing. That's how places with income inequality are. This exists in Mexico too. Great place to live if you want cheap domestic labor. Coachella. Up until recently, very recently, I always thought Coachella was a fashion show for Coach brand purses. I always wondered why everyone was gung-ho about the brand, and why that fashion show event was so popular, even amongst men. I simply accepted that I would never truly understand fashion. You can catch me in a lot of places, but one place you won't catch me is with one foot inside a golden corral. Let's pour one out for our boy Ponderosa one last time. Ponderosa was my first memory of being allowed to build my ice cream sundae on my own. So many options. It was a simpler time. I still have 3 very close to my house. They are awesome. Dubai. Overrated AF. 7th grade. Fuck that shit. Never doing it again. Worst year of my life. Fuck you, Hillary and Sue. Middle school was so much more abusive than high school. It was probably the worst 3 years of my life. And it's at an age where time feels like it moves so slow. Will you, too? I remember it felt like I was trapped in purgatory. It didn't help that all the adults around me at the time kept saying how much they loved middle school back in their day. Same, middle school was 1000x worse than high school. Though for me, 7th grade was benign, lived in a friendly state, moved to a toxic area for 8th grade. That was hell on earth. I don't hold grudges, believe in revenge. But there are dudes from that class, where to this day, if they were hanging off the edge of a cliff, I just keeping walking by, maybe whistling because I'm chipper. Yep, just chipper, nothing to do with their potentially impending doom. Costco on a Saturday afternoon. I switched careers about 5 years ago, and Mondays and Tuesdays became my weekend. It is so glorious having the entire city to yourself. I'm starting to think twice before posting anything on Reddit. Seems like any option someone has just starts a fight. I find that offensive. Delete your comment. I find it offensive that you took offense. /s. Brazil, thanks to liveleak.com. Brazil is a PvP zone. Just stay away from Rio and you'll be fine. I've been in Brazil for 21 years and never even got robbed once. It's especially good to have a Brazilian friend to guide you around, but there are truly magnificent landscapes in Brazil that makes it worth a visit. I'm here to rob your comment. Now hand it over. Dubai. Too hot, too expensive, too backwards, too many influencers. It's the too many influencers thing that is dissuading me from going. Posting pics with rented Lamborghinis and domesticated cheetahs type shit. Anywhere in this world where women are not considered equal persons to men. Afghanistan, parts of Africa, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, India. There are others. Also, would never go to Dubai. Somalia, North Korea. I thought Somalia was in Africa? Africa is in North Korea, dumbass. Basically anywhere in the Middle East. I'm Chinese. But I'll never, ever, ever return to the motherland, not even for a visit or an all-expenses-paid vacation. What's your take? I've always been interested in visiting China but have heard mixed reviews, mainly depending on the city you go to. Mainly the people. I find a lot of them rude, crude, and loud. I've had too many run-ins with them in the past. Although, there were places where the people were gentle and sweet. Aside from that, I'm extremely wary of the government too. It's probably anywhere near the equator. I'm from north of the 60th parallel and very well suited to extreme cold weather. You know there are a few glaciers along the equator, right? Visit the mountains of Ecuador or Tanzania to find some cool equatorial spots. Smile. Also, the persistent breezes of Hawaii make it quite comfortable for us northern folk. I live in the Yukon and appreciate your struggles with oppressive heat. I'm from the Yukon, and now I'm in southern Ontario, and when Ontarians wear sweaters, I am so incredibly uncomfortable in the heat. When Ontarians wear summer clothes, I fear the outside. When Ontarians say it's too hot, all hope is lost. I'm also using Ontario to get used to a warm climate so I can explore the rest of the world. I'd like to be able to experience a Texan cookout or a Louisiana potluck. I've just got to try and get past the heat thing. And if I can accomplish visiting my southern neighbors, I can try the rest of the food this world has to offer. Probably the exploded reactor of Chernobyl. No, the whole station is covered in meters thick concrete. You won't able to see the reactors, actually, without permission from local authority. And hashtag X200B. Source, my company visited Chernobyl on 2019 October with the Seek. Yeah, that's probably not going to be safe to explore for centuries yet, but damn, would I love to. One of my biggest fascinations in life is ruins, and there's nothing quite like an exploded nuclear reactor. I'm so curious about what it's like there, under the safe confinement, in that roofless reactor hall, the blasted corridors around it and the control room where it all went wrong. Any place with laws criminalizing being LGBT, lordy would me and my boyfriend be in trouble there, lol. Edit, damn Reddit is beating me down early today for just expressing that I wouldn't go anywhere where it might actually be illegal to be me, lol. I was thinking that the minute I saw the question. First thought now was Florida. Unfortunately, there are so many countries that have anti-LGBTQ+ legislation and many that have jail to death punishments for being gay. It's a sad world we live in. But it's Pride Month, so I hope you and your BF have a good time this month and can celebrate. Afghanistan. Nashville, I don't get the hype, but it's a great bar scene. I don't feel the need to get on an airplane and book a hotel just to go to bars. Also, I don't like country music. I only go to Nashville for concerts. Downtown Nashville stinks, literally, and all the drunk bachelorettes partying are annoying AF. It's an atmosphere. Same reason people go to Vegas even though there are closer bars and casinos. Most people's local bar scene is likely way smaller and less fun than a nightlife destination. Underwater caves. Fuckity fuck. Anytime I see/hear fuckity fuck it's to the tune of Frosty the Snowman and is followed by Look at Frosty Go. A strict Muslim country. Dubai. Fucking hate this sexist, capitalist and tourist scam vacation spot. I'd literally rather die. If I want to experience a luxurious vacation I head to Switzerland or anything similar non-cruel. Russia. I was lucky to visit Russia in 2017. It's a fascinating place. I grew up during the Cold War, and standing in Red Square was surreal. I went in 1987, when it was still Soviet, so I felt totally safe breaking off from my group and going around Moscow and St. Petersburg by myself. Crimes against foreigners were punishable by death. Had a wonderful time. Anywhere I have to bring my own atmosphere with me, cave scuba diving, Mount Everest, the moon, etc. LOL. Simply put. I am a gay man. I like to travel with my husband. I will not go anywhere where our life is considered illegal or the culture encourages violence against people like me. It kind of sucks because I spent time studying Islamic architecture in college. There are some places I would really like to see in real life, but I don't want to risk it. Plus, some of those countries like Iraq and northern African countries are way too dangerous by default. So, I'm basically stuck with first world countries and definitely not the US southern states right now. It sucks that I have to be this careful, but I prefer not to be imprisoned, beaten or killed. Greater than it kind of sucks because I spent time studying Islamic architecture in college. Then you will love Andalusia in Spain, especially Granada and Cordoba. Lots of beautiful old Islamic buildings, with nice and extremely accepting people. North Korea. Haiti, I live right next to it, but that place is too anarchic for my taste. Poor Haiti has been screwed over so many times, it's really sad to see. The Sahara Desert. I don't like sand. It's coarse, and rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere.